Welcome to Kapeleris Ultimate Talk TV. Be inspired, informed, and elevate your mind one step at a time. Talking about life, real estate, business, and beyond. Your host, author, speaker, real estate broker, Carmela Kapeleris.
Welcome back to Kapeleris Talk TV, Real Estate and Beyond. My next three guests are professional certified home inspectors. They're here to discuss why home inspections are important when buying or selling your home. May I introduce to you Yuri from Home Inspections for You, Pat from Canadian Residential's Home Inspection, and Panos from A Buyer's Choice. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Can you tell us all why home inspections are important when buying a house? Can you give us a couple of reasons each? Yuri, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. I think that I can put it in three words, like experience, education, and knowledge. My inspection is first of all education, where I explain to my client everything about the house. I educate him on various systems of the house. I provide my knowledge to him and making him to look at the house with my eyes and giving him an opportunity with a third party opinion.
Okay, Pat, how about you?
I'll echo a little bit of what Yuri said. Buying a house is a bit of an emotional experience. And most people are very excited when they buy houses. Some of them are a little bit scared. So you need to have a bit of an unbiased opinion going through there, giving them information on the systems, giving them information on what they have to look forward to as new homeowners in a lot of cases. There's also a lot of clients that really have no idea what the business end of a hammer is. So you literally have to explain and guide through them what they're going to have to do coming out of an apartment, for example, and so on.
Yeah. Panos, can you give us a couple of reasons why home inspections are important?
Home inspection is important for every client for a different reason. First-time home buyers are stressed. Most of them know nothing about a home. So as Pat said, they're emotional. We need to calm them down, explain to them how the house works and how to maintain the home, which is the number one important. I have clients who are contractors, who are trades, who flip houses. They are not emotional. They know the end side of the hammer. So they look at a house, at an inspection from a different point of view. So each client expects something different from the process, and that's how I go into the home inspection, always.
Okay, home inspections are also important when you're selling a home. They're called pre-inspections, right? How important is it for a seller to have a pre-inspection, and why should they have one? Panos.
I can start. It's very important, especially in today's market with all the bidding wars. You have disclosure as a realtor and as a seller. You don't have any liability because you're disclosing everything about the house. People come in, they will put their offers, they know the condition of the house, so there's nothing for them to be concerned about. So it's a win-win situation for everybody, a pre-listing inspection. That's my opinion.
I think as a realtor, I would think that a pre-inspection, one reason a pre-inspection is important is because right now we're getting multiple offers. This year, all the houses are multiple offers. So to have a pre-inspection done is easier to get the house sold firm without any conditions. Do you agree?
I'm going to agree on part of this because it does in fact give information to the seller as Panos said, the condition of the house, what to expect when the bids are going to be coming in. One of the mistakes that the newer realtors say, as we call them, they use the home inspection in some cases as a renegotiation tool, which starts an entire big discussion. At least when you do the pre-list, you know what major components are going to need to be done, what to expect from, so you can base your offer on that. So it helps the realtor on both sides, and it does give a level of protection and assurance to the seller and the realtor.
Yes, exactly. That's very interesting that they use it as a negotiation tool. Yeah, I have a. Well, you know, I've been in the business for a while, and you know, when a home is sold conditional on inspection, and have an inspection done on it by one home inspector and it gets rejected, and then you have another home inspection done by another company and it gets approved and passed. What is that about? Like, are there any regulations or guidelines?
Essentially, we provide condition of the house at the real time. So at the time of the inspection, what we see is what we report. Why reports are different? I would think that, first of all, home inspection is a very specific field. We are in the field of opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. If you will put 10 home inspectors in a row on the same problem, they will have 10 different opinions. But yes, we work all on the standards of practice. We all use standards of practice of Canadian and American associations of home inspectors. But I think what is important for the home inspector, because we're doing visual inspection, unlike my homes doing inspections, so we have to be knowledgeable and experienced about what we are talking about.
Okay, all right.
I can follow on that.
Well, I want to ask you, why are home inspectors, why are they not regulated or licensed or
Excellent.
governed by anybody?
Excellent question.
Right?
As part,
Right, everybody?
as part of my, I've already got this one. As part of my work on one of the boards for the associations, I have two members that are actually talking right now with the government for the regulations. So there's been many meetings going on. So it's coming. We're expecting to have regulations and licensing of home inspections as early as the end of this year or next spring. So it is coming. There's no doubt in it. There's been too many questions and too many issues with people who are using different guidelines and really are fly-by-night operations. So. And it's time that it stops.
Do you want to add anything, Panos?
I do want to add, the point is that there's over 1,000 home inspectors in Ontario right now. Most of them are part-time, do not follow any guidelines, do not belong in any associations, are not insured at all, they're not certified. I've seen reports with my own eyes that are not really reports, they're just pieces of paper with some notes on them. So that's why we do need licensing, so that the professionals actually are there doing their work and can provide the correct reports for their clients.
Yes, it'll be much better for your business and for everybody as a whole.
For everybody.
For everybody. Okay, let's talk about some questions that the general public and consumer have about home inspections in your industry. Pat, or let's see, who wants to go next?
Depends on the question.
Tell us about illegal apartments in terms of home inspections from your point of view.
Well, from my point of view, personally, they are very difficult to inspect because there are now some guidelines being applied by various cities. So Mississauga being one of them. Brampton's got a different set of guidelines, Oakville, and so on. So inspecting them, it's a different animal altogether because there's a lot of items to look at which will be guided and either accepted or rejected by the insurance. And if you discover them and it becomes a bit of a commercial venture, you have to tell the people that they have to be careful because a rental apartment does expose you to more liability with your insurance if something goes wrong.
Right, right. Have you ever asked them to take the kitchen out because it doesn't follow guidelines?
Actually, I
guidelines?
don't. I personally don't tell a client such a thing, but I will put in the report and advise them that they should consult with the local authority to see what the guidelines are, what needs to be done to bring it up to the acceptable guidelines.
Right. Tell us about Kitec plumbing. What are the issues and concerns with that?
Well, Kitec plumbing is, once again, this was created due to the fact of the cost of copper. So they tried to reduce the cost of manufacturing by using something called PEX piping, so plastic piping, as well as fittings that contained a large amount of zinc in there. And it was supposed to be a solution to the cost of copper. Problem is they didn't take into account that these fittings would be affected by the condition of the water in different municipalities, so different additives like chlorine and so on, the temperature of the water, and the fittings actually start corroding from the inside out, and they basically explode at one point. So they fail, which creates nice floods inside the walls and so on. So.
Okay, so they're no good at all. Yuri, aluminum wiring. Do you come across a lot of aluminum wiring in houses? Is it most older houses in Toronto?
Yeah. So aluminum wiring was used in the houses that were built between 1965 to approximately 1973. The need for aluminum wiring came from the fact that copper suddenly increased in price significantly, and they tried to use aluminum instead of copper. The problem with aluminum is that it expands and contracts differently from copper, and connections in the aluminum wiring easily became loose. There were a number of fires that were attributed to aluminum wiring, and therefore it was the use of it was discontinued in the mid-70s. And right now, the houses that have aluminum, some insurance companies require upgrades with copper wire.
For sure. Is termites a problem in Toronto as well? I know not so much in Mississauga, but I hear Toronto. Big problem.
Termites depend in where? South of Blue Ridge.
Yeah.
Close to Lake.
Okay. Pano, can you talk to us about foundation and mold and moisture intrusion and how you detect that and what advice you could give people to prevent that?
In regards to foundation, there is a common misconception that foundation shouldn't crack. Foundation does crack, will crack. It's part of what concrete does, and as long as we don't have any moisture penetration, then we're fine. The industry calls for a 1/4 of an inch width where we have to seal, even though I've seen them leak with less width. So foundation cracks by themselves are not a big deal as long as we don't have major structural issues. When it comes to mold, every home, almost every home, has mold spores. They will become active with the proper conditions, being warm and lack of ventilation. The most important thing is that it's preventable. With proper ventilation of the house, using the vents, the kitchen, the bathroom vents, all the vents out the house. So it is preventable and it shouldn't be there. It is very important not to have mold in the house for health reasons. It promotes asthma. And
how do you get rid of mold?
If it's at a very advanced stage, you need to have it taken care of by professionals. A company has to come in and do proper. And again, it depends where it is. If it's in the attic, then you have to remove the insulation as well and do a lot of work there. If it's surface mold, it's easier to deal with.
Okay.
How we detect mold? Mold is present where there is moisture and warmth. So if it's in the attic, I make it a point to go in every single attic. That's why I've lost a lot of weight and I can fit in a lot of attic spaces. So I make that a point. Sorry.
No, thank you.
So it's easy to see in the attic, that's not an issue. In bathrooms, when you have loose tiles, because of moisture penetration, you're gonna have mold definitely behind. The other way we use thermal imaging. Most of professionals, home inspectors, I know all three of us have infrared cameras. We use the thermal imaging to detect moisture behind building materials, and then with our moisture meters we can detect the moisture, and I would guarantee a client that there is mold behind a wall if there is moisture. Again, we cannot homes the house and start breaking down drywall. That's not real life, but an experienced home inspector will know when there is mold.
Okay, that's good. Good answer. Yuri, who should pick the home inspector, the homeowner or the real estate agent?
The homeowner, of course.
The homeowner?
Yes. It's legal responsibility of the homeowner to hire and pay for the home inspection.
Yeah, they pay for it, but I know in a lot of cases I work with a team of people, and usually my buyer will ask me, do you have a home inspector? And I'll use 1 or 2 home inspectors that I use regularly. I'm the one who gets, because of the simple fact that we don't know if these other home inspectors that they are picking are their brothers or their uncles or even have so I would suggest the real estate agent pick the home inspector.
Well, the real estate agent can recommend home inspector, certainly.
Yes.
But it's, in my opinion, it's full responsibility of the purchaser to select
or the person who's paying.
Yes.
Okay. So What are the most important qualities to look for in a home inspector? Go ahead, give us a...
I think that first of all, the inspector should be in some way certified.
Yeah.
He can belong to association that certifies him, because most of the home inspectors are self-regulated, except of 2 provinces where the licensing exists right now. In Ontario, it's self-regulation, so certification is one of the factors, and there is a number of high certifications that, like national certification, that purchaser can look for. It's experience of the inspector, it's recommendations again from the side of the real estate agent and from friends, families.
Okay, we're going to wrap it up. Pat, what are the other types of services that you offer in addition to home inspections, very quickly?
I offer complete infrared for the house, so if there's visits to be done for insulation or various changes inside the house. I stay away from mold. If I identify something, I send it to a different, I farm it out.
Okay, Panos, what about you? What are the other services you might
home
offer?
inspections for buyers, for sellers. I do consultations. For somebody just calls me for one issue, I will go to their house specifically for that issue and consult. I've been a referee sometimes between buyers and sellers, discussing about an issue in the house that a home inspection brought up, so I've been called in for that because of my experience. Home maintenance inspections, full thermal imaging again, so that's all part.
Okay, so where can you be reached? What's your website and your contact information?
My website is www.von@abuyerschoice.com. Cell phone is 416-997-3644. Available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm on call. I'm like a doctor, so anytime. I get appointments at 11 o'clock at night.
Good for you.
My email
You're a hard worker.
Yeah. Email is my
probably
full
all hard
name.
worker.
I can give you my card for those who can't remember Greek. It's panos.loucaides@abuyerschoice.com.
Great. Pat?
CanadianResidential.com is my webpage, 416-819-3419, my phone number. And my email address is pauriol@canadianresidential.com.
Fantastic. Yuri?
I have 2 websites. One is homeinspections-toronto.com, and another one, homeinspectionsforyou.biz, and the phone number is 416-909-6467.
Okay, great. We have a few gift certificates to give away. I got to ask my director, can we do it, or are we short of time? Can we give out 3 home inspections? Okay, can you give us the business cards? Okay, so Panos has a gift certificate, and pick a card, and we'll see who...
Without seeing, right?
Without seeing, yeah. Are you looking?
Knowledge Works Global, Joanne Probot.
Oh, yay, Joanne! We'll give it to you after the show. And what did you bring, Pat?
So I have a basic safety kit for a house. So it's a fire extinguisher kit for kitchen and rest of the house.
Nice.
Carbon monoxide detector and smoke detector.
Very nice. Oh. Oh, anybody else?
Anybody else? Whilst I'm out? Pick a card. Any card.
Any card.
Thanks, Vanna. Jennifer Yatru, sorry if I didn't pronounce it right.
Jennifer.
From Manulife Securities.
Yay,
There you
Jennifer.
go. Congratulations.
Great. And Yuri has a gift pens and
Pens to everyone.
everybody.
Without choosing.
Okay, so there
Friends
you go.
get everyone.
There you go. So we don't have to pick. Okay. Thank you very much, Yuri, Pat, and Panos for being
Thanks for
here.
having us.
Thank you.